Good morning. How are you guys doing today? I am excited to be here with you, and I am glad you are here with me this morning. I am Sheridan Robinson, and this is All Things Business. So, I want to talk about entrepreneurship. What value am I offering to be valued as an entrepreneur? I have to ask myself this question so much because I have never really thought about the value I am offering. I only think about what I am making and how I am presented to you all. I never really considered my value until this morning. I ended up watching a video. I think it was, nope, you know what? I ended up watching a TikTok video. And on the TikTok video, it was talking about the construction of, your business structure. And of course, I do taxes, and I never realized I don't pay attention. I have to be so totally transparent. I do not pay attention. I am never really focused on what is actually in front of me. I'm always focused on what I have to get done, going through the process, and how to get paid. That's honestly my truth. However, I'm listening to this guy this morning and he was talking about the structure of a business. And normally, when I deal with tax returns or when I deal with bookkeeping, I never really pay attention fully to the structure. I'm only paying attention to my job, what I'm doing, what I have to do, how I have to do it, and that's pretty much all I pay attention to. Does this have to be filed on this document? Does this have to be filed this way? How the business is operating? I never fully focus on the structure. And when I was listening to him this morning, it made me just stop and really pay attention to the structure of my life. And I'm like, I never pay attention fully to a structure. I never had structure. I never grew up with a structured home. I never grew up with a structured family environment. It was always me by myself. My older brother, who's 3 years older than me, he would be God knows where, doing whatever he wanted to do, and my mom would probably be at one of her many jobs. So it was more of just me, and I kind of just did what I wanted to do. And I learned a lot of the things that I know in life because I read extensively. I always had a book. I was always somewhere reading and figuring it out, and I always kind of mimicked myself after what I read. As I got older, I started mimicking myself after individuals that I saw people paying attention to, people fixated on, or people that were glorified, especially in the church. And if you grew up in a Southern Baptist church, you understand just what I'm talking about, that the first lady and the pastor are very revered, very much revered, because they are considered as, the hierarchy of close enough to God, I would say it that way. And, you look at those individuals and you're like, I want to be admired like that. I want to have that structure. I want someone to attend to me that way. I want someone to pay attention to me. So that was the only structure, that was the only guide, that was the only way that I mimicked a character and an identity for myself. So I never really had a structured lifestyle that helped me value who I was as a person. So with saying that, that leads me to this topic of what am I offering to be valued as an entrepreneur? I don't even have the slightest idea as into what I am truly offering in order for you to value me. Because if you think about me just mentioning the first lady and the pastor of a church, what were they really offering that I couldn't really go and read the Bible and get clarity and understanding and wisdom for myself? What were they really offering me what I couldn't do on my own? So you have to question, what am I offering you as a customer, consumer, client, whatever, that really will make you want to value what I am as an entrepreneur? And when you stop and ask yourself that question and you even think about it on your own, you're like, I have to reconsider what I am truly offering that allows you as a listener, as a client of mine, to value me enough to pay me for services. Yeah, that was a hard question. However, we're going to walk through this together and we're going to figure this out. So, of course, as entrepreneurs, we measure success by numbers, revenue, clients, and growth. But behind the thriving and the, I want to say surviving, because I don't know if I ever just thrived as an entrepreneur. I have been highly stressed, overwhelmed, overworked, and sometimes underpaid. So, I would say that in the midst of business, there is a question that defines its foundation of what value am I offering to the world. So, in this episode, we'll dive deep into understanding the value we bring as entrepreneurs and how it directly impacts how others perceive, respect, and invest in us, our business. Whether we're struggling to define our niche or feeling undervalued in our industry, we will explore the conversation of our unique qualities that set us apart from, I don't even want to say a saturated industry or whatever your industry that you choose, but what sets us apart. So we'll also discover how to align our personal values, our thoughts, our beliefs, our habits, our behaviors, and identify the core needs of our audience, of our target client base, right? I don't want to just necessarily say audience, because a lot of times you're not really saying much, but you are saying much by what you're doing or presenting. I guess you can't say that. However, we also help create what resonates with the target audience that we are presented to. I had to turn my heater off. It's getting hot in here. So, with that, entrepreneurship isn't just about selling products or services, right? It's about creating an impact, which I think a lot of times we fail to realize that, especially when we're trying so hard to accomplish a goal or trying so hard to make money, we're trying so hard to be validated in order for others to see us and award us with accolades and, praises. Sometimes some things we never received in our childhood. But the real question comes, do we truly understand the value of what we're offering as entrepreneurs? And is that value clear to the people we are trying to serve? A lot of times we get so fixated on me, I have, that we really forget that we are actually in service, whether it be service-based business, whether it be whatever type of business that you are doing. We still provide a service, right? And I know, speaking for myself, I have definitely been the individual that will get so overwhelmed and I will just be like, I gotta do it, I gotta make it. And it was always me trying to prove a point that I was worthy, that I was valued. But I never really understood what my value and worth really was. I don't even think that I was really trying to find value and worth within myself. I think I was more so trying to find that, or not find it, receive that value from an absent parent, I was trying to receive that value from a community that never had understanding of me, and I never really had an understanding of that. I think I was also trying to find my value and my worth from individuals on the outside of myself in order to make myself feel whole, when I should have really been looking internal and trying to do that from within and projecting that part out versus projecting the void that I had on the inside. So, I think that there have been times where we've all questioned our value as an entrepreneur, and not just as an entrepreneur, but even as just an individual, because we wonder, why am I here? What is it worth me being here? What is it worth me providing a service or having a business in an industry or in a space that I feel small in, and I don't necessarily feel valued within myself? So why do I feel like I could be valued within a vast, space of me providing a service or a business when I don't even know the value of myself? For me, I have always created a concept, I'll say that, in order to make money. And I think the biggest moment I had was when I started my behavioral health agency in Louisiana back in 2016. And I was, I think, around like 25, 26. And starting this business, it was, of course, in my hometown. I thought that because I had grown up here, because people had seen me come through the struggles, had seen me endure the things that I endured, I would be safe. I thought that I would be safe. I thought people would receive me and everything would be well. And I was truly wrong. So I overgave, I overextended. I gave so much of myself in that business that it literally put me in a mental facility and I had to be diagnosed, right? So I question my value as an entrepreneur of, why am I traumatizing myself the way that I am when these individuals could care less about me? The only thing they cared about was, could I pay them? Of course I could pay them. However, it was so depressing to have workers, employees, and contractors who were, I would just say the word, they were lazy. They were lazy, they were entitled, and they felt that I should have provided for them because I had the concept of how to make money and was making the money, and they just felt I should give it to them, and they felt entitled of being an employer or a contractor for my business. And for that, I felt that I only had enough value to submit myself overwhelmingly to these individuals and allow them to almost dictate how I orchestrated and operated my business. I felt very, very, very low. I felt like I had no control, no value, no point, no purpose. The only thing I felt like I had purpose for was to ensure that these entitled and lazy individuals had enough money to pay their bills. And for that, when I realized that I had a CFO and a bookkeeper did some unmentionable things, and I ended up losing out on my business, and I ended up questioning the value of myself, as in, was I even saw as someone who had value? I had to question myself a lot through that business endeavor, and I came out of it still to this day questioning, what was my purpose? Why did it hurt so bad? Why did I learn an expensive lesson? Why did they crucify me the way that they did? And I think that reshaped my perspective of myself. You know what? I can say that not even that moment reshaped my perspective of myself. I think that was really a breaking for me to break out of a lot of the internal conflicts and traumas that I was carrying around, that made me open myself up and see a lot about myself that I did not like, that I was ashamed of, I was embarrassed about, and I was just questioning my own inner self-value and self-worth. So I think that moment reshaped my inner world more so than my outer world. Because I went into another venture. Of course, I made money, made great money, but it still was shaping my perspective of myself and the way I thought of myself. I thought I had it all. I thought I had, everything society told me that I was supposed to have, but it was making me look more and more and more and deeper into my internal, and I did not like that. I did not like the way that I looked on the inside, and I was angry that every time I would try to just not be an entrepreneur, go get a job, go work for someone else, and disregard this calling that was on the inside of me, that it made me turn more and more into myself and realize there's something deeper that I'm not listening to, that I'm not paying attention to, and that I am not really honing in on, that there's a I'm meant to be an entrepreneur. I'll say it that way. And I dislike it. I dislike it a lot. So that really made me look more into myself and realize, okay, God, this is between me and you. Clearly, you're trying to show me something about me and the value of me. And I really don't like it, but we're going to work with it. So I had to understand, what does value mean in entrepreneurship? To define value in the context of entrepreneurship, value isn't about what you do, it's about the problems you solve, the emotions you evoke, and the transformation you provide, right? So the types of values that you can offer practical value with solving a problem or fulfilling a need. You can provide emotional value, making clients feel seen, heard, or empowered. You can provide social value, helping clients connect or contribute to a larger cause. Or you could provide financial value, helping clients save or earn money. I never got clarity on what my value was. I honestly, just up until now, still have not defined what value of myself as an entrepreneur truly means. Although I tend to think that I offer practical value, which would be solving a problem or fulfilling a need, I think as a Virgo, we always tend to be solution based and have a solution to everyone's problem but our own. And I know that we see our problems. However, I think that we tend to disregard our problems and want to project and solve everyone else's problem and make it as if everyone's problem is more important than our own. And sometimes it's self-sacrificing, and I do admit that. But for the most part, I think that I kind of offer practical value, social value, helping clients connect or contribute to a larger cause. I don't necessarily feel like I offer social value because I'm kind of antisocial. I am kind of like, I see what the masses deal with socially, especially through all the social media channels, and I'm just kind of like, I don't really want to be involved with that, because 9 times out of 10 it leads into something that I just genuinely might not believe in, or honestly just don't want to get caught up in. Financial value, helping clients save or earn money. I thought that I was providing financial value from that perspective. However, I think I was only providing financial value when I was asked of money and I was giving money. So it was more of me helping them pay their bills with my money versus them actually learning how to utilize the skills or whatever the services I was providing in order for them to do it with their money. So I kind of backed away from providing that financial or trying to help with financial value, because I learned that a lot of people really don't want to learn how to make money or earn money. A lot of people feel entitled. A lot of people want you to do it. They feel like you are obligated to do it. So I really, really, really try to back away from that. And I think that me being practical about solving a problem really helps me to stay within my means of dealing with people, because I've really learned a lot. And the last one, emotional value, making clients feel seen, heard, or empowered. I don't try to do that because I myself, I'm working on that. Helping myself feel seen, helping myself feel heard, helping myself be empowered. And a lot of times I think that when we learn to work on that within ourselves, we can then project that outwardly and help others find their confidence in learning how to do that for themselves. So kind of working through practical value and emotional value is where I would say I am and balanced. But my true belief is that I offer practical value by helping you all solve a problem, hence dealing with this podcast, or fulfilling a need. Your need to understand yourself, your need to understand your level of value and what you offer as an entrepreneur and put out into the world. The perception of value, when we get to that, we can look at how we clearly communicate our value and how our value can influence others to see us in our business, the services we provide, and as entrepreneurs. And if we do not understand our own value, I think that hinders us from being successful, that hinders us from being able to truly put ourselves out there authentically and really build on our groups, tribes, and people that are clients that attract them to our business. And that is definitely something that I realize about myself. So that is definitely me learning more, that I offer practical value, solving a problem. If you don't know or show your value, people won't automatically see it. Even though we feel like if we can provide great marketing, we could provide, cute social media captions and things of that nature, we would be seen as valuable, right? And a lot of times it's our job to make our value visible and undeniable. And sometimes it don't come from just the marketing scheme, the cute, aesthetic platform or social media space. It really don't. It comes from you being an authentic person and just a person that's genuine. Because I would give money to a person I feel that's more authentic and genuine than someone that creates a cute social media post. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm aware that you're only doing it because you hope I like the look versus the actual service or product that's being presented behind the cute social media post. And a lot of times we deal with it and we can see something that can be so aesthetically pleasing. It can be cute and then the service be trash and you're like, wait a minute, I did not sign up for this. So a lot of times I think the value comes from genuineness, authenticity, and just being your true self. So I believe that a lot of the disconnect from self-value comes from feeling undervalued. A lot of times we feel undervalued if we can't get the $1 million sale. We feel undervalued if we can't be the ones who make a post and we get $1 million in a minute. We're like, what's wrong with me? Why I can't feel, this way? I feel undervalued. And we think that that's normal, and it's not. Actually having people to buy from you, listen to you, actually value what you are offering, I think that's more valuable than you being one of those individuals that have a viral video or something to that nature. when you have people constantly or consistently DMing you, booking with you, contacting with you, I think that gives more value than just a viral video and everyone talking about you, because sometimes the talk can be good and sometimes the talk can be bad, and then if it's bad, that really make you question yourself, and then that make you spiral into all of these emotional thoughts or pitfalls that can cause you to disregard your true authentic self and your genuineness of what you truly started the business for. Also, I think a lot of the times some entrepreneurs feel undervalued because they lack confidence in their offerings. They focus too much on comparison instead of their unique strengths. I have been one of those individuals. We misalign between our goals and the client needs. I have definitely been one of those as well, because I wanted my success, I wanted my validation, I wanted my accolades, I wanted my awards to mean more than what I was actually providing to my client base. And I have been one of those individuals with misalignment between my goals and my client needs. And that cost me a lot of times to just get in my head, get stuck, and just disappear. So that gives me a deep thought of what am I really valuing about being an entrepreneur? Am I really valuing the void that I've had within myself, or am I valuing that I have the experience, I have the knowledge, I have what is needed for my client base? And I have to question myself a lot about why I disconnect from my value and why I feel undervalued as an entrepreneur. And a lot of times it's me. It's definitely me. And I have to admit that it's just me. So I have to question, what's the one thing you do better than anyone else? For me, the one thing I do better than anyone else, and not to say that I am the only one, but I am able to comprehend very quickly. I'm able to see something. You can show me something once, and once you show it to me, I will ask maybe 2 or 3 questions. Once I ask that question, I can go about everything you just explained to me, and I probably could do it better than you. And I don't say that to be arrogant, I don't say that to be cocky. I say that because I am a fast learner. I'm an auditory learner, and I am able to hear what you don't say, but I understand the context of why you are saying it. So I think that is one thing I can do better than most. However, when I try to put it fully into a explanation myself, I am not able to do it. So I don't know if that's good or bad or whatever it is. But also, another question that's composed is, how does that solve a specific problem for my audience? To a degree, me being able to take something, digest it, and regurgitate it back in the context of my target audience being able to understand, I think that works well for me, because I can go into any group. I could go into any group, any diverse environment, and I can speak to that group for them to have a level of understanding. I'm able to connect with all of my environments. I adapt very well. So I think that being able to take this knowledge that I've gained quickly, comprehend it, understand what's being said, what's being not being said, organize it, compose it, implement it, and orchestrate it out to my client base. I think that for me, that solves a problem of being able to connect with individuals in order for them to understand it in the context that they need to understand, because everybody learns differently, and that was something I had to learn as well. Everyone learns differently. So I am able to take it, regurgitate it back to whomever I am speaking with, and allow them to understand it in the capacity that they are able to understand it. So I believe that is my superpower, and I believe that that solves a specific problem for my audience, because that rolls me back to my practical value, solving a problem or fulfilling a need. I'm learning something with you all about myself today. As someone who does a lot of self reflection, I want you guys to reflect on your skills, your experiences, and passions, and ask yourself, why are you doing it? What made you come to this point of believing that others would be invested in the reason why you are doing it? And what is it offering to the world or to your audience base? Also, I want you to ask yourself, what impact do I want to create in order for me to feel valued as an entrepreneur, in order for you as your client base, whatever, to be someone to utilize my skills, my gifts, my talents, and my services? And also ask, how do I want people to feel after interacting with my business? Do I want you to feel good? Do I want you to feel excited? Do I want you to feel happy? How do I want my target audience to feel? How do I want them to value me? And how do I want to value myself once I get a new client, once I get a new booking, once I, get a service or a fee paid? How do I want people to feel after interacting with my business? One thing I think I struggle with, because at a certain point I'm like, everybody can learn, everybody know, everybody can be a part when that's not true. I am for a specific group, which is you that's listening. I need you to know your audience. I need you to understand the need, the pain points, and the desires of your target market. And when you understand that, you kind of seem as if you're staying in a bubble, but for the most part, this is your space. This is your space. This is what works, and this is what make your value even more or even greater, because you're not trying to be a part of everybody else. You're not trying to make yourself bigger than everyone else. This is just you, what works for you and your target audience base. So in that, I'm going to give you actionable steps to increase your value. Now, some of these things, of course, you've heard time and time again on social media, but you're going to hear it again from me with a little bit more depth. Showcase expertise through content. Be seen. A lot of us do not want to be seen. We feel that the aesthetics are not pleasing as everyone else. They are not they have money. Just realize that if you're just starting out, they have money to pay for someone else to do it. So just note that if you put the content out, eventually you'll get the money, and the money will help you to create an aesthetically pleasing product, service, or platform. Deliver consistent, high quality work that exceeds expectations. I am an overachiever in everything that I do. So I feel that delivering over the expectations of what is being asked, and sometimes what is not being asked, can help propel what you have, your product, your service, your business, and your value into a higher capacity for others to see you and value just as much as you value yourself. Build relationships with your audience through authenticity and trust. If I don't trust you, I'm not giving you my money. That's just period. I'm not giving my money to you. If I hear, the slightest thing that it feels like you are scamming me, you are potentially scamming me, I'm just not going to give you my money. I'm not going to deal with you. I'm not going to interact with you. But a lot of times people will trust someone that they feel is being authentic, and they would actually refer you out. I have had that happen to me. I have it a lot. And I think a lot of people shy away from being authentic because a lot of times we don't value our own authenticity, and we feel that if we don't value ourselves, how will someone else value me? Be authentic and genuine to yourself, and I guarantee you, building relationships with your audience, being authentic, they'll like you. Also, make sure people get to see you as you see yourself. If you see yourself in certain ways, trust me, you're going to project it and people are going to see you in the same way as well. And then you're questioning why they don't like me, because you don't like you. Aligning your value with entrepreneurship goals, what you offer as value isn't just about others. It's also about feeling fulfilled as an entrepreneur. You have to keep in mind that you too are doing this because you enjoy the fulfillment and you seek fulfillment in the services that you provide to others. Do not believe that they have higher value than you. You have more value because you have gained the wisdom, the confidence, and the knowledge to provide the services that you are providing, to create the business that you have created, and to be the entrepreneur that you are. The value you offer should reflect what you believe in and what excites you, not just them, but you. This alignment keeps you motivated and creates a business that feels authentic. If you are not happy doing that business, why do you think someone else would be happy in being a client of your business? You have to be excited about what you're doing in order for others to be excited about being a client or an audience of your business or the services that you are providing. So, as we wrap up this podcast session, we want to ask the question: what's one way you could better communicate the value of what you offer? I want you to share your thoughts, your ideas, or your struggles with me. I'd like to hear them because, of course, I offer practical value, which is solving a problem or fulfilling them. I'm always solution based. So, what's one way you could better communicate the value of what you offer, and how can you present that outwardly to your target audience and your client base? To go even further in a challenge of determining who you are, what you value, what you offer, I want you to go and get a notebook and just write down your thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts written down on my desk. Who you help? Who do you help? Who are you wanting to help? Why are you helping them? What problem do you solve? And the transformation, let me say that, or benefit you provide in helping. Why? Just why? Honestly, you can really just write why. Just why. When you answer that, you'll find your reason and your true value. For example, you can write, I help entrepreneurs simply to help with their finances so they can focus on growing their business with confidence. I know that sounds cliche and it sounds so, oh, this is just social media speaking. But however, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? What's your reasoning for doing it? Who's going to accept you doing it? Does it make you happy in doing it? If you can't answer that truthfully, I don't think you need to be doing it. But you need to determine why you are doing it. And in closing, you are valuable because of what you offer, but because who you are. The world needs what you bring to the table, so make it visible, own your value, and step into your worth as an entrepreneur. Next week, we'll talk about creating authentic connections with your audience to build trust and loyalty. I hope you guys find your why. I hope you find your reason. I hope you find your value in why you are or why you should be valued as an entrepreneur, and if you value yourself as an entrepreneur. I hope you guys have a great week and see you later.